because yes, with the presentation, I wanted to show you like that. You can see, for this I open both because I can't, for example, now that you can see, we're going to see the presentation. I wrote here something about how to see before to start with the map. Okay, it's good that you didn't see, because when you are going to see, it's going to be crazy. Okay, we are going to read a little here. Is before we are even there, our imagination will be awakened by the suggestive beauty of these archipelagos, where the days pass by under an immense sky. Okay, you are going to see here. I spoke that all the sea that you see is all blue, and is the sun is very light. When you go to Greece, you need to wear clothes very fresh, because it's very hot in summer, in August, if you were there. And after here, I was speaking about the food. It's lovely, this food. I don't know if you know, you can eat seafood because it's fresh, it's from the day. You can eat some feta, olive, the salad, all is totally natural. And after I was speaking here about the activities. For example, you can make kayaking with dolphins, you can see some sport, climbing, kite surfing. All is depending about the prices. For this, I put the budget where I want to speak. And you have a lot of things to do here. It's for this I wanted to show you. And here now you see, before you didn't see this page, no? Okay, we repeat here. Is what I was speaking, my experience on the right. And this is the welcome. And I put some picture about Greece, with a typical restaurant like that, with people of there. Sometimes it's very informal. Sometimes it's a restaurant, but sometimes you are going to eat with a family. They are very open people who are going to see that later. And here I see that when I make my trip, we make like an historical fiction, romance, and science fantasy, because I was in there with friends. Okay. After, yes, I was speaking Greece. I repeat, it's 69 Iceland and 173 Dream Beach. And here is my travel book that I was speaking before. There you see, where I want to speak about the map, the top 3, the budget, tips, and my wish. Tips is what I did, and my wish is what I want to do. The past and the future. And here is what I wanted to see. Now it's good. You see, it's crazy. I wanted to show you something to understand Greece. For example, I was here in a team, and I see the number 3. Only this. But if you see, there is more to do. It's very big. For example, the number 1 is basic. Is Athens and Attica. It's a millennial city with the Acropolis. Okay, so I put in yellow exactly what the most important, but there is more thing I didn't put all, but the most important to see if you want to see all the country. There is the Saronic Gulf Island. The Hydra is the number 2. It's just here between Peloponnese and Athens. It's in the middle, with the island Hydra. It's one of the most beautiful islands in Europe. After the Cyclada, I put Santorini, but there is more. We are going to speak about Naxos. We are going to speak about the Amorgos. It's very small in the middle. It's for this you don't see here because it's very small, but it's very nice. And you are going to find Mykonos. It's where people go to make the party. Discotheque. If you want to make a Greek at night, like in Ibiza, is there. It's in Mykonos. And after, I wanted to show you. You have time to watch the movies, The Big Blue and Before Midnight?
I've seen them before, so.
Yes, you saw. Yes, I wanted, if you didn't see, we are going to, sorry, open. I wanted to show you a little.
I had a
to
question.
see more or less. This is more and more because yes, tell me.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Just as a general rule, because I've actually never been to Greece, but I've wanted to go. What is the most practical way when you are traveling? There's a lot of islands, a lot of places to see. What is the most practical way to mobilize yourself within the country if you want to see multiple islands? Do people fly or do they take ferries, boats? What's more practical? Or
Yes,
you know?
we're going to speak later in the route, in the
Mhm,
itineraries, in the road
mhm,
trip that I speak later. And because if, for example, if you go to Peloponnese, it's more road trip.
mhm,
If you go to the Iceland, you need to organize with the boat, but it's
mhm.
very easy there. Everybody use the boat like the bus, more or
Oh,
less. It's
okay,
very easy. We're going,
okay.
no problem. Yeah, and you have a lot of time for boat from Athens. That is in Santorini, the big city. They have a lot of communication, except what I told when we come back, that we had a problem because we didn't book in advance and we were in high season. We are going to speak about the season. If you are in high season, all is busy, all is full, and you need to plan in advance. It's for this, it's important to see. If you want to, we're going to see a little about this film, is the trailer, to see more or less where we're going to see more in the Cyclade. This film is more to see the Cyclade, for example.
Do you know how it is?
It's
Do you know
more,
what you're supposed to do to meet a mermaid? Go down to the bottom of the sea.
I think you need to share that again. Hey, Caro.
As only a memory. You float there. in the sun.
Carolina,
yes,
there's not showing it.
Yeah, so currently you're showing sharing the PDF. You need to share that particular screen.
okay, the share, oh yes, okay. I was making, you want to share the screen? You didn't.
No. I'm saying if you're planning to show us the video, then you need to share the video screen. Currently, we see the PDF.
Because it's very difficult because the last time when I share all my screen, and here no.
No,
Oh,
we
very
only
strange. What's
have
happening
the
here?
presentation deck, yeah.
Okay, check. I wait other time. It's very strange with this. Okay. Because when I shared last time, it's for all. Okay. The video, where is it's very difficult to share here. Okay.
Yeah.
But for the video, yes, it's for the movie I wanted to show, but it's important for later because we have Safari. Yes. You tell me.
It's pure. I'll be with you. Take you away forever.
This is one. Stop. Close. Okay. And yes, I need to make like that. It's the first time I see because sometimes when I share for all. Okay.
Yeah, that is a limitation with Zoom. What it does, it only allows you to share a particular item. It won't share your whole screen. In a way, it's good and bad both.
I think for security, this we don't have in Europe.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good. And the next one that I see is the number 4. We are just here in the south of Turkey. Is Dodecanese. We can find here road. It's another film very old to see. If you want to visit the medieval town. There is another city, is Leros. It's a colorful port and trendy bars. It's more or less here where I put the picture. And Sara is more here, like that, more or less here, yes. But Sara is little known island, see the line by pristine beach. Sometimes here is very, very touristic, Les Cyclades. Everybody go here, okay? But for example, there is another island, very nice, and virgin, and that you can go, and it's perfect, for example, here. And the 5 is in the north, just here. The northern island is, you can find the Samothrace, which is in Greek. This wooded island shelter one of the greatest sanctuaries of the antiquity. You see, I put a picture. It's more, if you want more cultural art. You have beach, but you have another thing. And here the number 6, we are near Athens, but more in the north of Athens, is you can find Evia and Sporades. We can find the island of Lesbos, beaches and forests that invite serenity. Another one, Skiros, the biggest known for its carnival and the art of its potter. If you want to go for the carnival, it's something different that everybody go, because here to Mykonos and in Cyclades everybody go, but you can go to another event. And we have Alonissos National Marine Park, crystal clear water where the Mediterranean works its life. Yes, here the 7 is the Ionian in this part, just in front Italy. We have Corfu, heritage that bears witness to a rich history. And Peloponnese is the big one. But you see, it's not an island. You can come from Athena by car, for example, but it's a big one. And here I have is where the other film that I told you to watch. This film Before Midnight was in here, was in this island, and we're going to see this, but in another. I need to close to enter. Okay, now I know. Okay, this. And now I share this. Now. Okay.
We met about 18 years ago. We kind of, sort of fell in love. And a decade later, we ran into each other.
No. You wrote a book, and I read about it and went to look for it. It's pretty romantic.
So, how does this work out? Because this is the 3rd film in the franchise. Are you kind of the link that kind of brings everybody kind of back together again?
No, I don't think I'm any more of a link than Ethan or Julie. I think we're really a team at this point. We communicate with one another, and every 6 or 7 years, we kind of realize, oh, Jesse and Celine are alive in us, and maybe trying to say something about where they are in the world.
If we're meeting for the first time today on a train, would you start talking to me? Would you ask me to get off the train with you?
Of course. And both of you guys are actually writers of all 3 films. How does that work with Richard? I mean, I heard you guys get locked up, or you got locked up in 7 weeks in Greece, right?
That's one of the things that he asked us also at the audition process, is that, do you write? I mean, he wanted someone to be involved, actors that were involved in really creating the character, and not saying the lines as they were.
He wanted to make a movie. All 3 of these movies are about a connection between 2 people. Mm-hmm. And to really capture that on film, he wanted our help in creating these people who would connect, so that it could be something authentic about it, something real about it, which is a totally unique thing for a director. Lots of directors ask you to be a part of their vision, but almost nobody asks you to find the vision with them.
Yeah, it's a wonderful process. On top of it, we are in the midst of the age of the character. We both, each film, our 20s, our 30s, our 40s, what we're talking about is not autobiographical, but, I've never reconnected with an old flame or something like that. It's never happened to me. Any of those films, actually meeting someone on a train. None of that. But we do connect emotionally to those characters, and we do connect because the emotions of the characters are true to ourselves and to a lot of people, actually, because being loved and loving someone and connecting is a wonderful thing. So, that's how we try to work, basically. Well, this place is so full of thousands of years of myth and tragedy, and I thought something tragic was going to happen. Still there. Still there. Gone.
actually never actually seen the first two films.
And
Okay.
Rick is, oh,
You
really?
haven't seen the first
It's
two?
on my Netflix
Oh,
queue for a
Oh, that
month
makes
and a
me
half,
so
and I
happy,
can't
though, 'cause,
get it.
You know, one of the things that we work so hard to do.
So how
is-
does it work for you?
Well, that's exactly why I walked into this one, and actually it worked well. So I was
Really?
wondering if that's what
something
you guys,
we
how you
really
guys
want
went
is
into
for
it.
each one should totally function as its own
Stands on
film.
its own, yeah.
And it's just it's a romantic movie about a different moment in life. You see them together, there's something interesting about that, but it makes me happy that this one spoke to you all by itself.
Yeah, that's funny because we don't have many people that actually see this one
Who
yet
haven't- yeah.
that haven't.
We're really
seen.
hoping that it will.
At the end of the film, where do you think, I guess, their characters are heading? Do you think they're going to last? I mean, is that...
I don't know. It's a fair question. I mean, it's ambiguous, really. You know, some people. A friend of mine saw the movie with another friend, and they were like, one says, "Oh, I give them 6 months. I don't think they're going to get over this." And the other person, "What are you talking about? You missed the point of the movie. They're working through their problems." So it's really a mirror. You know, it's where you're at in your own life, and you know, if you're about to break up with someone and you know you're out the door, it's the movie could be a reflection of that. If you've endured through you know, a relationship and it's still working for you, and you know you've that it could be an expression of that.
You never stop ogling girls.
I don't ogle girls. I make love to them with my
Oh
eyes.
wow! I'm stuck with an American teenager. I feel close to you.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't know. I feel like breathing helium and I'm breathing oxygen.
What makes you say that?
I wanted you to say something romantic and you go, okay?
You're the mayor of Crazy Town. Do you know that? You are.
This is how people start breaking up.
Oh my God. I assure you, that guy you vaguely remember the sweet romantic woman you met on the train? That is me.
Why am I finding myself so attracted to this woman?
Okay. Wait. I wanted to leave, please. Okay, I leave, and now we come back. Need to make like that, and now we share. Okay. Now it's okay. You are here. And now yes, and here we were here to see more or less the film. Later I am going to show you the walking tour by moto if you want to make. And here is the road trip. My dream is here in Crete. It's more in the south, but you see, for the if you want, we are going to see later, because in the road trip to carry on. But here is very nice because here you are going to see all the food, and it's very nice. This island, it's very. Here is my top 3. You remember for the road trip in Crete, we are going to see, but here I'm going to see the top 3 because you see a lot of things. We need to make a selection, and here is we have the Acropolis. It's important. We are going to see the walking tour. Is 2 minutes from the Acropolis. Is the most you must see. The sun is shining on Santorini. This is the best sunset of Greece. It's for this everybody go there. It's for this. There is a lot of people, many people there, but it's something to do. And here is road. I don't know this island, but it's to see. Is what I tell you, is more old town, is more medieval, is another thing. For example, here is me, is before going to Santorini, and the transport that we use in this island was very funny. Is not a car, is not a motorbike, but they rent it's not a motorbike, but it's like a motorbike with 4 how we tell, it's quadricycle. It's something with 4 round, and we were 2 people in each one. And you imagine to go with this for the mountain and to make all the island was very funny. Sometimes we must stop because it's not very strong, and it's very funny. And we stopped because we made all the village of the island before to go to Santorini, and it's good to make like that. you enjoy, you are going to smile, you are going to have a nice time. For example, if you see here, I put a hat. It's not very nice with all with the thing that I wear, but it's important. A hat like that you need to take because the sun is very strong, and if you don't want to have problem because you need to protect the head all the time. And here, for example, here is Santorini. Here is Athens with the Acropolis, and here is Rhodes, but I don't see it. This is the beach. But if you want to go to the city, we're going to see here in the walking tour the city. If you want, we're going to start with the Acropolis to see a little. It's only 2 minutes. I can share. This is a problem with this to share. Huh? I didn't think that. I know the difference between okay, we share here. Wow. Now it's good. It's with Viator. I like this.
Very best of Athens. In the morning, we'll be strolling around Athens' top attractions. Then we're headed to the famous Acropolis, and finally, in the afternoon, a trip to the Temple of Poseidon. The first stop of the day is at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, where they do the ceremonial changing of the guard.
So the walking part is something that people enjoy, and they get a sense of the vibe of the city, but they also learn a little bit about the history.
This is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. What a great way to explore Athens. And our guide is an expert on history. This is the iconic neighborhood of Plaka here in Athens, and it is a must visit to really experience the essence of the city.
And the tour culminates with a visit to the Acropolis, which is the most important site in all of Greece.
The views up there are fantastic. My favorite part of the tour has to be the Acropolis.
I love this experience because we're so immersed in ancient Greek history. Can you imagine what life was like back then? Wow, this is incredible, and the view from up here is insane. Overlooking the Aegean Sea, you can tell why this is called the Temple of Poseidon. There has been a sanctuary on these grounds since as far back as 800 BC, and the structure behind me dates back to 444 BC. This full-day tour was jam-packed with ancient architecture, incredible views, and the very best of Athens. It is a bucket list trip.
Your trip, or to be able to visit some places, did you manage to book months and months in advance, or it was a more or less last-minute trip? I would say a month before or something like that.
We're going to speak about this later with the season.
Okay.
It's a pen of the season. If you want to go in high season from May until end of August,
yes,
here you must take you see the video, a lot of people.
True.
Because it's the best moment is when it's very hot, and here you need to take 6 months in advance to take something for the ticket and all, and for the boat, because the boat can be full. This is true. But for example, if you want to go in another season that I am going to show you in the off season, is the middle season. This is good, but not all the things are open. It's cheaper. You don't have a lot of people, but sometimes all the monuments are closed.
All right, it's good to know. Thanks.
Yes, but I want to see you later with the budget. I wanted to speak about the budget specific because in Greece is important. This
all
point.
Right.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. And here, and now you see my water. We are here. What? Here is the Acropolis. You see, and another activities that Viator proposed. Okay, this is an operator, but we can do and like that. We can book like that. We don't need to go with an operator. And in Santorini, I wanted to show you the walking tour. It's Fiera Santorina. Is here where I am. Is in Fiera. I don't remember the name. It's before Santorini. Okay, and here is the same. Oh, it's crazy. I need to stop to share another. Okay. This to see like that. You are going to see Santorini. You are going to see how many people. No, this is not a good one. It's not very easy to make like that. To close every time. Okay. Now it's good. Okay, and now we're going.
What's going on, Must Do Travels tribe? Today we're coming to you from Santorini in the Cyclades island chain in the Aegean Sea. This volcanic Greek island is known for its scenic overlooks, beautiful towns with views overlooking the ocean, which has made Santorini one of the premier island destinations in all of the world. Thanks to Nick Gray over at Nick Gray Travels, we get an up-close look at the port town of Fera. If you enjoy virtual tours like this, please do subscribe to Must Do Travels TV. Drop a comment below. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this virtual tour of Fera, Santorini in Greece.
Hey guys.
It's at the top, huh?
We don't hear the sound. We don't hear it.
No, there is nothing. Nobody speak. Okay.
It's just some donkeys.
It sure is. Take a right up here.
I mean, even the comment. Well, it's fine. The image.
It's going to fall down.
There's no sound.
Yeah, but the image are enough. So
What happened with the sound? I think it's the security. They don't want that we share.
wow.
I think no. Is it staying with? You think that you're going to fall down?
Keep going. Straight. I'll tell you.
Yes, it's that. Okay. Is that okay? It's for this. I wanted to show you only this, and the road is to see if you want to see other thing that not only beach. Is other thing. Is medieval. Is very historic. I don't know if you are going to give me if we can share here.
So in Santorini there is no beach?
Okay, good.
Carolina?
Yes?
Sorry, there is no beach in Santorini?
No, Santorini, how I tell you, it's not beach because it's at the top. No, you don't have beach. Yes, you have in the other side. In this side, you don't have, but yes, you have beach in the other. You need to move. For this is better. But this side, that is the nice, when you see the sunset, you don't have. Because you have the port down, you have the top, but after the other side, yes, you have beach. Don't worry, you have beach. It's very big, the island. And okay, now I share here. Okay, it's okay. Here is Rodo. This is very historic. I think I remember a film about the Romana. You listen now? Here is okay?
Yes.
Shh. Here is okay. Listen. Okay, this is good. Okay, and now we carry on here. Is this one. Perfect. And here we see the top 3 already is okay. And it's what everybody wanted to know. The most important, the budget. It's okay, you see this, this page, this. And I put here on the left, more or less, according to the budget. And here is according to the season. For example, if you want to pay less than 60 euro, I speak in euro, okay, after per day, you are going to sleep in the domatia, we tell in Greek, it's like homestay, you are going to pay for the bed between 10 and 20 euro, and in some house 25. And after you have meals on the market or street food, but this is only more or less in off season. Off season is in this season, okay?
Okay.
Is that after if you pay, you're going to pay between 60 and 100 euro per day, okay? For a double room between 35 and 60 is good. Huh? When we were there, you can book no double, you can book even for a room for 4 people or 5 people, and you share, and it's very good like that. After you have meal in tabernas, it's the name in Greek, to have the typical menu, daily menu, and this is very good. And the entry fees of generally are not very expensive. And after, if you want to pay more, it's more than 150 euro. You have the double room at 90 euro and more. After, you have meal in excellent restaurant, see Michelin start, but the big restaurant, very nice but very expensive. And you have activities like diving or sailing. This is an activity, but you must pay for this. It's not very cheap. And after, you have the countless option for outing. Okay.
So okay, so in your budget, when you mentioned less than 60 euros, for example, per day, is everything included for from the, I would say, the night, the breakfast until the evening as well, in your hotel and your accommodation, and eventually the activity you might be able to find, isn't it?
More or less, yes. It's for to sleep, to eat, some activities.
And this is this the case for all the places you went?
It depends. After, is according your plan. Okay, this is only estimative. Okay, after it depends of if you want to join. For example, if you want this to sleep in the dormitory, but after you want to make to have diving, it's going to change.
That makes sense
for this. And for example, but it depends of the season. If for the, I put you are going to pay 150 even in a hotel of less category in high season. It's from Easter, May and August. Okay, not now. Now Easter is bad for in all the world, but normally is that the high season is accommodation price made double that normal, and peak attendance and temperature. Temperature is very hot and a lot of people everywhere is that. After off season, here normally I put is from April and September, and you can find price 20% cheaper. Me, I put here 15 because I work in the tourism and I have contact with some supplier. It's for this me. Because when I went there with my friend, it was me who organized, and I like to check all the price, and I can get 50%, but normally it's 20. Okay, and here is more milder temperature and the reduced frequency of domestic flight. You don't have a lot of flight and you don't have a lot of ferries. Okay, there is few visitors. Okay, this is good, but you need to check the transport. This is important. It's the most in the off season, and the low season is from October until March. Okay, for example, if you want to go in Christmas, it's a good option. But the problem is there is a lot of hotels are closed, restaurants are closed. Not all. You can find something, but you are going to have the half is closed, and some monument is going to be closed. But for example, Acropolis, I think is open. We need to check, but this is open. But other thing, for example, in the small island is going to be closed. The accommodation is half price. It's for this. Even or not only in dormitory, you can find a hotel very cheap too in low season. And the problem is the few ferries. You must check the time all the time, and the temperature is not very hot. It's going to be colder, but it depends what you want to do. But this is a good option if you want to go in Christmas. You don't go to the beach. You don't want to make the party. It's another thing to see Greece, for example. Okay, check here, and Rhodes, yes, Rhodes is very nice. I want to do. I don't know, but I see a lot of information, and it's my next destination, I think. And here is my tip. I put some picture of my thing. My tip that this is of all Greece, and this is only of Cyclada. Okay, here, for example, in Amorgos is when we were. Is perfect. This island. You don't see in the map because it's very small. I don't know how to show you. It's more in between. We don't see. It's a point just here, but yes, it's that. And we were here in a hotel. It's like was very alternative. The boss was hippie. It was very nice. I remember because we made meeting point with them. We booked with booking.com, all official, very good. And we were waiting. Okay, what happened? He's not coming. We are with the luggage. It was very hot, And after 30 minutes, we see a car like the hippie, you know, the furgon like that with with a lot of color that is coming. What? And he stopped just in front. Is him? Yes, I think it's him. And they start to tell me, my friend, where did you book, Carolina? I don't know. I think it's good. And he come and he told, okay, put the luggage inside. And people, what? It's good. It's good. We can trust him. Okay, we're going to, yes, we trust him, no problem. And it was a resort, an old resort with a lot of hot room near the beach, like that, like in the photo, in the picture, like that. And it's like a hotel, but he managed like in the house. It was very funny because he tell, take the key, pay in advance, and after when we leave, you put your key here in the office, no problem. Okay, it's like a family, and was like that, and we like a lot. It's like you can trust everybody. You don't have any problem. So in the touristic place, yes, in Acropolis and in Athens, it's not. You need to be aware because there's a lot of pickpockets. But for example, in this kind of island, they are going to meet nice people. Here in Naxos, my experience, for this I put bike tour. This is real, it's my picture. It's because we did bike tour, but all the day. It was very, very tired. We go to the mountain with the bike. It was crazy. But it was an adventure, and was very nice. Naxos is the island, the bigger of the Cyclades, and it's not Santorini. Naxos, we can see is this one, is the bigger, and Santorini can be here, and Amorgos is more in the middle, the small. But Naxos is the biggest one, and it's good to know because people go to. It's near Mykonos, but Mykonos is where everybody go, and you are going to find a lot of people. And we didn't go to the place with a lot of tourists, and we think, okay, we must choose because we can't make both. Mykonos or Naxos. Okay, but we are going to go to Naxos, and we make like that, and was very good. And here I put the tip to the island to make all the activities. I put the discover the sponge fisherman in Kalymnos in Dodecanese. Dodecanese, if you remember in the map I put here, is just in the 4 we speak about here, this activity, and is the sponge fisherman is from Plateau times to the mid of 1980s. There was a work before, now it's not anymore. You can find something, but it's important to see this in this place. After I put the temple of Athena Nike. It's in the Acropolis, but it's near, okay? And it's important to see the Athena Nike in Athens. Here is a restaurant, the Selena, it's in Santorini. It's the best restaurant on the island. You must take note of this if you want to eat good food. After is the Poseidonion Grand Hotel. This is a hotel lux. This is expensive. They made the renovation, and if you want to go like a rich like that is if you want to pay money, here is a good hotel. After you have the Museum of Marmara Craft in Tinos. In Athens, the Centre Cultural, the Cultural Center in Onassis, where they make a lot of events. You have to the international community in Athens. If you want to contact them, it's going to be fun too. Here is Jackie O. I don't know because I didn't go to Mykonos, but this is the one of the disco of the path. If you want to make the party, if you want to make crazy night, take note of this. Is near the old bridge next to the Babylon and Pierrot, for example. Is Jackie O. It's a discotheque. It's to dance. It's to spend all the night if you want to dance. Here is Agios Andrea Acropolis. It's in Sifnos. Don't miss the panorama, the view. of this, and another hotel, Borchetto Hotel in Lefkada. It's a boutique hotel. It's about the 19th century, and with the balconies overlook the sea. I put 2 hotels, but for example, you can find, if you have a small budget, you can have a family, they can rent the apartment for you, and it's not very expensive for 5 people. No? Maybe for us, we're going to pay 150 euro per night, but between 5 people, it's 30 euro per person. It's not expensive, for example. You can make that if you go with friends. Like if you go with a couple or something, you can choose a big hotel, but it depends what you want to see. And here I put a walking tour that I found in YouTube. It's not mine. and here they speak about Amorgos and Naxos. And me, I was thinking perfect, because it's the 2 islands that I know. And if you want, we're going to see this one, I need to close, I know. What's happening? I can click. No, I know what's happened because I didn't put all the link. Okay, I put in small, and they don't take. Okay, I take like that. Okay. Perfect. And now I share. I don't know that it's working like that. This. Okay, perfect.
Naxos is the largest island in the Cyclades and also one of the greenest, with a huge variety of landscapes, from idyllic coves and rocky plateaus to its more mountainous interior. It's also home to ancient monuments like the Temple of Demeter and the stunning medieval Byzantine church near the village of Halki, one of the oldest on Naxos. Exploring the island's hidden network of pathways, I discover an ancient Greek marble quarry with these unfinished statues, as well as medieval forts and yet more stunning views. In the northeast, starting from the village of Koronos, I head to the coast, greeted along the way by hospitable locals like Georgios. After a welcome glass of homemade raki, he introduces me to his extended family. Heading on, I arrive at Leonas Beach, where I enjoy a delicious meal at the delightful family-run Delfinaki restaurant. Life doesn't get much better. After bidding a fond farewell to Naxos and its famous temple to Apollo, I take a boat to nearby Amorgos, another idyllic but much smaller island. Once again, my days are filled with walking expeditions around the coast and inland, exploring the winding lanes of some wonderfully atmospheric towns and villages. On the rugged east coast, I'm greeted by some of the island's friendly population of stray cats, before I climb the steep stone steps to the astonishing cliffside monastery of Hosovia Tissa. My base in Amorgos is the small seaside town of Egiali, lapped by some of the clearest, bluest waters in the Aegean Sea. After a day exploring the surrounding hills and being greeted by yet more friendly cats, I return each evening to my beachside paradise. And not for the first time on this wonderfully relaxing holiday, I'm bewitched by yet another glorious sunset.
Oh, this is this one, okay. And this is one, okay. this one. Okay. And this one is only the Tuaslan of the Cyclada that I wanted to show. Okay, my wish. We start with my wish here. Here I put some activities to do in all Greece. Here is my wish that I want to do in Peloponnese. This is a road trip by motorcycle in Mani, Peloponnese, from Athens. It's going to be good because you see all, but you go with a motorbike. And here in all Greece, I put the National Gallery of Greek Art, the Byzantine iconography, the modern art. If you want to make hiking, the best island to do is Tilos, Pakchi, and Samos. The seaside pleasure, is you can do the activities to do is kayak, the plage, la plage. I put in French beach. It's beach. Okay, I put plage, kayak, beach, Lutra Eripsu, and the cruise. And the music, here you have a lot of festival too in Greece. You have the singing cafe in Rhodes for the traditional music. Everybody go there, all the local go there. It's like in international that everybody meet there with a lot of people. And if you like this mood, it's a good option. Here you have the Rock Wave Festival if you want to go to listen the rock music. We have the Full Moon Festival in August with a concert on the Acropolis in Athens. This is very good. I think for this event you must take the ticket very in advance because it's in high season. And I see the Stoa Thanaton is to discover the Greek blues. If you like the music and the blues, you can see the Stoa Thanaton, the name. It's a festival. Okay, and if you want, we're going to see my wish of this, but to finish is with the food. My wish is in the Peloponnese, that I don't know, this city. This picture that I put is Peloponnese. You see, it's magnificent. Huh? It's like it's still like that. It's like they have finished the construction, and this is very old. Okay, and we're going to share. Okay, I need to stop here, and
was an important fish.
Okay, and this. Okay, there is a publicity.
Today, Yerolimenas is a famous.
Les appels vidéo, c'est toujours un peu frustrant. Mais avec Portal, on a beaucoup plus de liberté.
Pourquoi il ne me laisse pas? Allez, c'est bon.
Travel experiences from around the world. Having loaded my bike with my tent and all the necessary camping equipment, I began in Athens and moved south, wanting within 4 to 5 days to explore Mani in the Peloponnese. This was quite a familiar trip because I had visited the north part of Mani several times in the past. The distance from Athens to Kalamata, where I made my first stop, is 235 kilometers and takes about 2 hours and 20 minutes to reach. The route to Kalamata is all highway, and you must pass 8 toll stations. Kalamata, in my opinion, is a very beautiful city. It is the second largest in the Peloponnese after Patra, and is very lively throughout the year with an intense nightlife. During the winter, people gather in the historical center, while in the summer they go to the beach and Verga, a suburb situated at the foot of Mount Kalathi. Here you will find charming cafes, restaurants, bars, and clubs with a spectacular view of the bay and the city. Over the 3-kilometer span of beach, you will find some quiet spots, as well as other areas with cafes, beach bars, and restaurants. It has thick sand and is the only city of this size in Greece where people can enjoy the beach. Visitors from abroad reach Kalamata directly via its international airport and start their tour of southern Peloponnese from here. I leave the city behind, exiting from the east and heading south to Kardamili, the main town of the municipality of Westman. It is a 35-kilometer distance from Kalamata and located on the seafront, west of Mount Taigetos. It's a very beautiful and picturesque village with houses made of stone and clay-tiled roofs. It has a small port, but not a beach for swimming because it is surrounded by rocks. In Kardamili, you will find beautiful traditional cafes and taverns, and 2 bars where you can have a drink. Just over 7 kilometers south, you will find the village of Stupa, a beautiful settlement that was originally a small fishing village, but has now become a famous tourist resort. The village has 3 sandy beaches with crystal clear water. The main beach is full of cafes, restaurants, and taverns, while in the northern part, you will find a nice lounge bar to have a drink at in the evening. A little further north is Calogria, one of the famous beaches of the area, where it is usually very crowded. Here you will find charming cafes and taverns. More information can be found at tripman.net. I stayed 2 days in Stupa, as I wanted to explore the nearby mountain villages and the surrounding area. If you like camping, just above Calogria Beach, you will find a good campsite, where I have stayed 3 times.
Si tienes más de 35 años y no has aprendido a tocar el piano, no puedes dejar de ver este vídeo de ninguna manera.
I started my mountainous route from the village of Pirgos, which means tower, and is located southwest of Stupa. The village is built on a hill with incredible panoramic views, where, during Turkish occupation, it functioned as an observation post. It's a rather picturesque village with beautiful houses. From Pirgos, I headed north to Castanya, a village hidden between 3 slopes of Mount Taigetos, and is hard to notice, even when you get really close. It is quiet and picturesque, and the old rooftops, where they still exist, are made of stone slabs. In Castanya, there are many remarkable Byzantine churches with excellent hagiographic murals. One of the main attractions is the fountain with the huge walnut tree, as well as Durakis Tower, where Kolokotronis, a hero of the Greek Revolution against the Ottomans, once stayed. Castanya has about 85 residents, but after midday, the cafe and the tavern in the main paved square attracts many people from the surrounding areas. I continued north with a stunning view of the Messinian Bay on my left, wanting to head to Basilikis Forest. The route is very beautiful, and I enjoyed it, as I do whenever I'm in the mountains. At some point, you will see a big sign for the forest, where you must turn right onto a dirt road which leads to it. The road is quite easy, even for those who aren't used to riding on dirt roads. Leaving the forest behind, I headed to Exochori. My next stop will be at Hotel Faragi, where I will drink a coffee and enjoy the view of Taygetos' peaks and Firos Gorge from a distance. Then I began my descent to the coast, where the road led me just before Gardamili. There I turned left to head to my base camp in Stupa. The next morning, I started moving south, wanting to explore the Laconian region of Mani. The first village after Stupa is called Agios Nikolaos, which is famous for its taverns. A fishing village with beautiful traditional houses and picturesque streets. Agios Nikolaos has the only nightclub in the area, so people come and stay here until the late hours of the night. As you are leaving Agios Nikolaos southward, you will come across a beach called Badazi, with tall trees providing shade and a tavern where you can eat or have a coffee. I wanted to find the main road to Areopoli, so I headed to the village of Plaza. It's a traditional settlement with a picturesque square, where in the past it was the largest village in Mani. After Plaza, I found the main road and headed south. On my way, I passed through a few beautiful villages such as Platanos and Lagada. Moving south, the road narrows and the wild bushy scenery replaces the lush green of Mount Taygetos. One of the most impressive parts I passed on my route was the area after Ithilon, where I descended the mountain and enjoyed a breathtaking view from the top. After a while, I arrived at Neo Ithilon, and 3 kilometers later, the village of Limeni, the most beautiful village I visited during my trip. Limeni today is one of the most famous resorts in Mani. Although there is no beach, people enjoy swimming by diving from the rocks into the blue water. The fish taverns here are famous for their cuisine, attracting people from the surrounding area. If you find yourself in Mani, Limeni is worth a visit, even for just a coffee. Just 8 kilometers south, and on a small plateau, you will find Areopoli, a historic settlement which remains until today picturesque and unspoiled. Unique features include the stone-built houses and the churches with amazing frescoes from the 18th century. Areopoli had retained its independence during the Turkish occupation, and according to history, the first armed groups that started the revolution assembled here on March 17, 1821. Even though this was the 3rd time I visited this village, unfortunately my schedule once again didn't allow me to stay overnight, although I would have liked it very much. Walking through the narrow streets of Areopoli, you will find beautiful and stylish bars, cafes, and taverns that really make you want to sit and enjoy them. Unfortunately, I had to move on once again, as I wanted to make my next stop in the unique cave in Firos. The cave's name is Vlijada, and is considered as the most beautiful lake cave in the world. Its existence was known by locals since 1900, but no one expected the beauty that was hidden inside. The water is brackish, with a temperature of about 14 degrees Celsius, while the air ranges from 16 to 19 degrees Celsius. The natural entrance has a diameter of only half a meter and is very close to sea level. In the past, the cave had more entrances, which gradually closed up. Inside, fossilized bones from panthers, hyenas, lions, deer, martens, and hippopotamus have been discovered. Ceramics have also been found near the natural entrance, which suggest a human presence. Its total length stretches 6,000 meters, and even though in the past it used to be land, over the centuries the water level rose, thus the formations of stalactites resembling white columns coming out of the water. The tour by boat takes about 45 minutes, costs 12 euros, and leaves visitors speechless. My next stop is in Yerolimenas, one of the most beautiful and traditional seaside villages of Laconia. Under Turkish rule, it was one of the bases of operations for Mani pirates, and in its subsequent history, it was an important fishing port. Today, Yerolimenas is a famous resort in Mani, with many traditional restaurants, cafes, and tourist accommodations that attract large numbers of visitors all year round. Continuing south, after Yerolimenas, you will come across the last gas station for many kilometers, so it is advisable to refuel if you don't have enough. The route from this point on winds through wild landscape, which reminded me of the Cycladic Islands. My next stop was in Vathia, the most photographed area of Mani, and an outdoor architectural monument that stands dominantly on a hilltop. It is an abandoned settlement of around 150 buildings, in which the first references to it were in the 16th century. In 1979, the village had only 11 residents, while electricity came here only in 1980. I continued south, wanting to reach the most southerly point of mainland Greece, Cape Denaro. I rode in absolute tranquility, capturing beautiful images in my mind, creating a bittersweet melancholy. Before arriving here, I took a short detour to see Marmari Beach, which looks rather impressive from afar. A sandy beach oasis in the rocky landscape of wild Mani. Continuing for about 3.5 kilometers south, I arrived at Cape Denaro. This was considered as the gates of Hades by the ancient Greeks, or the underworld after death. They believed that in a small and isolated cave, necromancy, or communication with the dead, occurred. If you like hiking, you can take the path that ends after 45 minutes of walking to the lighthouse of Denaro, a structure from 1822, which marks the southern end of the Balkan Peninsula. Now moving north, I wanted to stop for lunch at Portocaio, a fishing village built on a natural port, which due to its beauty is a major attraction in Mani. Leaving Portocaio behind, I came across a beautiful panoramic view, so I stopped to take some photos. Here, I made some new friends who were extremely playful with me and my bike. Luckily, I saw their mother after I had begun to leave, because I'm not sure she would have liked our friendship. The road is very impressive heading north to East Mani, as I was riding at a high altitude with fantastic views. On this side of Mani, there are only a few trees here and there, as opposed to the southwest side, where there are only shrubs. From Portocaio, I rode about 32 kilometers north to my next stop in Flomofori, a traditional and beautiful village in East Mani, with stone-built houses and tall towers. It was here where I met Kyriakos, who invited me to his tower to see what it's like inside.
Όπως είδες κάτω στα 3 μέτρα γράφει 1811. Στη μέση γράφει 1833. Λοιπόν, όλοι οι περίοδοι εδώ στη Μάνη, τουλάχιστον το χωριό μας ήταν από το 1810 μέχρι το 1845-1850. Σημαίνει ότι υπήρχε τότε, το τσιμέντο είχε εργαστεί νομίζω το 1890-1892. Το ασβέστη λοιπόν έχει χτιστεί, ξαναγίνεται πέτρα και αντί για τσιμέντο υπήρχε ένα υλικό, νομίζω το λέγανε πριτσίνη, κάτι τέτοιο. Πιστεύω ότι ο πιο ψηλός λιμάνι, από όσους έρχονται τουλάχιστον, είναι 18 μέτρα πάνω σε αυτός και 2 πατώματα σε διάμεσο. Δηλαδή καμάρα, πάτωμα, καμάρα, πάτωμα, καμάρα και βγαίνουμε στο έξω σε πάνω. Από κάτω λοιπόν 18 μέτρα. Η πυργή αυτή είναι όλοι πολεμικοί. Τους είχαν περισσότερο για βεντέτες, για πειρατές, γιατί εδώ πέρα δεν είχαμε ούτε πόλεμο με τους Τούρκους. Είχαμε, όπως είπαμε, από το 1810 μέχρι το 1845. Περισσότερο όμως για βεντέτες ήταν. Το κάθε σόι, ένα σόι βέβαια αποτελεί από διάφορες οικογένειες, είχαν τον πύργο τους. Ο πύργος μέσα έχει στέρνα, δεξαμενή με νερό και φούρνο. Οπότε μπορούσαν να πολεμάνε ένα χρόνο. Άμα είχαν σφαίρες, ας πούμε, νερό υπήρχε, ψωμί υπήρχε, κάτω αρχίζει ο πύργος από ένα 20 πλάτος και καταλήγει πάνω στους 55 πόντους. Όσο ανεβαίνει ο πύργος, το ισόγειο είναι 980 τετραγωνικά και καταλήγει πάνω σε 7 τετραγωνικά. Αν προσέξεις, άμα βάζεις το χέρι στην τέβα, ξέρω σου πω, θα βλέπεις να ανεβαίνει προς όρος ένας. Αυτό είναι δερματίστρα. Δηλαδή, αν πες είχαν μείνει από σφαίρες και έρχονταν εξόδος να μπει από το παράθυρο, αυτή η τρύπα κατεβαίνει κάτω, είχαν ζεστό νερό ή ζεστό λάδι και του ρίχναν μούρα και του λένε δερματίστρα. Το είχαν για να κρατάει το σαρό, το νερό, το γάλα, ας πούμε.
Εδώ οι Τούρκοι δεν μπήκαν ποτέ.
Εδώ, ούτε όχι οι Τούρκοι μόνο δεν ήρθαν. Ήρθαν και οι Γερμανοί, όχι οι Γερμανοί δεν ήρθαν γιατί φοβηθήκαν τους μαριάτες. Οι Γερμανοί όπου δεν πήγε αυτοκίνητο, οι Ιταλούς είχαμε εδώ. Δηλαδή μέχρι την ώρα που είχε αυτοκίνητο, πήγαινε οι Γερμανοί. Από εδώ, σε εμάς, από εδώ για πλέον, Ιταλοί. Είπαμε όμως οι Γερμανοί δεν ήρθαν γιατί δεν υπήρχε κοντά αυτοκίνητο, γιατί ήταν τους Ιταλούς. Ούτε οι Γερμανοί ήρθαν. Οι Ιταλοί ερχόντουσαν με καΐκια, με βενζίνες, ας πούμε, με τα πόδια, αλλά ήταν και οι Ιταλοί, δεν μπορούσαν να προβλήματα. Δεν θα βουτήξουν με κανένα κοκόρα να φάνε και τέτοια. Οι Γερμανοί δεν ήρθαν εδώ.
La publicité là.
Lucas et Eric investissent tous les deux dans les actions. Lucas utilise eToro pour investir dans des actions sans payer de...
My route continued on to the northeast area. I passed through the village of Kodronos and continued on to Githio. I took a detour to see Mavrovuni Beach, as it is a popular tourist resort in the area. Here you will find many beach bars and restaurants, and even many accommodation options, such as campsites, hotels, and rooms to let. Githio is located just 3 kilometers up the road. It is a beautiful town reminiscent of an island village and lies along the beach at the eastern foot of Mount Larisios. Githio is very picturesque because of the classical buildings and houses which, combined with the fishing boats in the harbor, creates beautiful scenery. It's worth taking a walk on the waterfront, which is full of taverns, restaurants, cafes, and bars. The port often receives cruise ships, as it is a connection point to the islands of Kythera and Antikythera. This is where I conclude my tour of Bani, a short trip which nonetheless contains so many different scenes and images that I felt I had been all over Greece. Mountains, forests, sea, nature, interesting acquaintances, and many wonderful experiences.
It's not the only Iceland that is good to do like that with a motorbike or with a bike. And the best for me, for this I put, I told you before that Crete I prefer to see here, is the food. It's the most interesting in Greece, is to eat. You have the meze, la moussaka, el souvlaki, or the honey baklava. They have the Italian influence, como les macarones of Rhodes, and the seafood and fish, como les maquerel, les cuttlefish, squid, fresh caught sea urchin. Yes, a lot of fish and seafood here. And the typic of Greek is the Greek salad with feta, olive, horta. And if you want, you can learn how to cook at the restaurant Selena as a chef. They give you can learn how to cook with them. You can for 1 week, for example, if you want 1 week, you can have 1 week of class, and you can learn some Greek food with them. Okay, here I put Crete. We will see later. And here I wanted to see all the route, because it's not a walking tour like that, because there is the boat that we can do. I put the number according the map. For example, here I made this one a little. The 1-3 is mine. No, it's not. Yes, it's a cyclette. Athens is cyclette, but not all the island. This is what I made. But you have the Grand Tour that you join. That is the 1-3-4. I put here. Here is only one, is this size, and here is only the 4, and here is 4 and 5. You don't go to the cyclade, but you go like that. This is a different route that you can do. Or Peloponnese is better to do alone. This is very big, like we watch on the video. Here is this, even if you, here I put the tip before the Greek, if you want to finish. If you want more, we can see Crete at the end, but it's not important. I wanted to share with you the 10 things to know before traveling to Greece. If you want to come here, it's your next destination. And I put here if you want to know more, but I put more information here in my Instagram and Facebook. Okay, I don't know how many people we are with.
I think 12.
Yes, 12. A lot of people went. Okay, you prefer Crete? We see, or we see the travel tip to travel, because you are going to see how they book the hotel, how they book the flight. This is the end. I put always at the end. You prefer this one to see more all the package? Huh?
I prefer travel trips.
Yes, the travel tip. Okay, this. Okay, we are 12, and the other I don't see. The other they don't have. Okay, we don't see. Okay, but I share. I need to make a like that. This Zoom in USA.
My name is Sabrina.
It's a girl who make the travel tip. Is Sabrina, and okay, it's this one. This first.
And today I'm giving you the top 10 things you should know before traveling to Greece. As a fellow traveler myself, most of these tips are actually things I would have liked to have known before my first trip to Greece. So if you're trying to have a smoother and more informed trip to this beautiful country, stay tuned. Number 1, non-potable water. So in the Greek mainland, water is usually drinkable in most cities, like Athens, but on the islands like Santorini and Mykonos, their land is not water sufficient, which means their tap water is no bueno. The islands have to carry water with a tank that most of the time accumulates water from the rain, which is only good for bathing or doing the laundry, but definitely not for consumption. So without a doubt, water bottles will be your best friend on the Greek islands. But if you're on the mainland, it's most likely okay to drink the tap water. Number 2, staying at a dope Airbnb is cheaper than staying at a hotel. Greece has a bunch of super cool and cheap Airbnbs if you just spend some extra time searching for the right spot. Honestly, on Airbnb, you'll definitely get the best bang for your buck. For example, I stayed at this Airbnb in Santorini, which was just a 5-minute walk from the Black Sand Beach. And this place is actually a hotel that you can also book through other third parties like Booking.com and Priceline. But because I booked it through Airbnb, I stayed here for way less money. So for only $28 a night, I got my own private balcony with a killer view, a small kitchen, 3 beds, and a bathroom, and it was walking distance to the beach and all the cool spots. Only $28 a night? Yes, please. And here's the crazy part. This
I love it.
hotel
Yes.
starts their nightly fees at around
It's
$90
depending season,
through
huh?
other hotel bookings.
Yeah.
Good
But
that check
because
the
I
season
booked it
first.
through Airbnb, their price was lowered so it could match up with all the other Airbnb competitors. All you have to do is
$28.
if you actually want to get
Really good to know, isn't it?
off your
Yeah.
Airbnb
I'll
trip,
take it.
sign up with my code or click the link in my description box below and you legit get free $40 off any Airbnb booking around the world. Pretty dope. Number 3, many places only take cash. This is one of the huge factors as into why you should always carry cash with you while traveling to Greece. Depending on where you are, many restaurants, kiosks, and other establishments will only accept cash payments. So always ask your server before you order if they take card payments. But in case you don't have any cash with you, finding an ATM won't be a problem. Which leads us to number 4. There are ATMs pretty much everywhere. This was a huge convenient matter for me since not only were these ATM machines easy to find, but their conversion rates from US dollars to euros were way better priced compared to the ones I had back home in the US and the conversion banks at the actual airport. So ATMs were my go-to. And honestly, they pretty much have an ATM in every corner. Number 5, eat like a local to pay like a local. Sounds pretty obvious, but we seem to forget about these things when we travel. Touristy spots will always have the most expensive food. And why pay more when you can get just the same kind of food but for a cheaper price? I know it can be super tempting to eat at that cool restaurant right next to the museum or right in front of the beach, but you're going to be paying around 5 to 10 times more for your food at these fancy spots in comparison to that low-key restaurant that is honestly just a 5-minute walk around the corner. Number 6. Greeks smoke everywhere, even in restaurants. Greece is a smoking country, so not only do Greeks smoke all the time, but most restaurants, bars, and cafes actually let people smoke in their facility. In fact, they have a cigarette ash thingy in the middle of basically every table you see. Even though smoking is technically prohibited indoors in Greece, most of their outdoor spots were also sort of indoors, so they basically just smoke everywhere. Number 7. Bring a plug adapter. In Greece, the power sockets are of type C and F. If you're coming from the US, for example, none of your plugs will work unless you have an adapter. So make sure you buy a type C plug adapter beforehand, since it'll probably be cheaper to buy it online, for example, rather than buying it in Greece. I'll actually leave a link for the right kind of plug adapter in the description box below in case you want to check it out on Amazon. Number 8. Most establishments will let you charge up. Just ask. So this was something I was sort of obligated to test out while I was in Greece because I stayed out all day using Google Maps, taking pictures, videos, and so on. So throughout the day, either my iPhone or camera battery had to be charged up. So every time I would eat at a restaurant, I would kindly hand them my charger with the plug adapter already attached to it and ask them if they could charge it for me. Although there were some establishments here and there that got super confused and maybe thought it was a little bit weird, but they all still helped me out in the end and charged up my things. Number 9. You need an international driver's license to rent out vehicles. If you're visiting from USA, Canada, Australia, Switzerland, and a bunch of other non-EU countries, you need an international driver's license to legally rent out any vehicle, including those super cool ATV motorcycles that people usually rent out on the islands. Number 10. For emergencies, dial 100 for police and 166 for hospital care. Knowing which numbers to call in case of an emergency is always important while traveling abroad. Hopefully you'll never have to use these numbers, but it's always better to be safe than sorry, so please make sure to write them down and memorize them just in case. So it's 100 for police and 166 for hospital care. And that's it. Those are the top 10 things you should know before traveling to Greece. Make sure to share this video with all your friends and family who want to travel to Greece, or even if you're trying to drop someone a hint that you want to go to Greece with them, send them this link. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Mwah. Ciao, or as the Greeks would say, yasu.
Yasu.
This. You see, this is important to know all the. Okay, I stop here and the last recommendation, because it's good to know all the destination, but this kind of thing is good to know before if we don't have to have any surprise.
Monday.com est un WordPress conçu pour gérer facilement n'importe quel projet.
Hi, San Luis not close. Okay, close. And I think, okay, I check with my this this is very bad to share like that, like in different window. It's new. Okay, and this is the last. They wanted to know this. This is the tour that I made. Is Crete. In Crete is the last one. I put separate because in all the place they put separate. I don't know why. Here is the road trip that they put, and here is a food trip that they put here. What do you prefer, food trip or road trip?
Food trip for sure.
Food? Yes, everybody wants food.
Yes.
Yeah, because road trip we see the Peloponnese. Yes, it's about to repeat all. Here is for the
No
food.
experience of the table is.
I put food because in Crete, if you want to eat in all Greece, it's good, but in Crete is the most of the most to eat. It's for this. And okay, check. I need to change and to open the other. Where is? It's very strange like that. It's very difficult to share like that, huh?
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Okay, it is one. This is the Iceland cooking of Crete. Okay, is the only one to finish with food. And this
Complete without a visit to Crete. Here on Greece, a regime that included little meat and no milk or sugar, but plenty of grains and pulses, greens and nuts, olive oil and honey, and a moderate amount of wine and raki. Unwittingly, the researchers had stumbled upon the outlines of the now famous Mediterranean diet. Cretan cooking draws on the enormous resources of this fertile island. Crete produces more olive oil than any other Greek region. Its mountains boast more edible plants than anywhere else in Europe. It has an ancient cheese-making tradition, while its gentle climate nurtures a wide range of fruits and vegetables. Underpinning the Cretan approach to food is an insistence on absolute freshness and simplicity. In this brief look at the Cretan way of cooking and eating, you'll be struck by the ubiquitous presence of leafy greens and other vegetables, the lavish use of olive oil, the reliance on fresh and dried herbs, and perhaps most important to the Cretan longevity, the open-hearted generosity and hospitality that accompanies meals here. For an overview of Cretan ingredients, we take a tour of the Saturday Farmers Market in Hania with restaurant owner Babi Mastoridis. Here we see products from local farms, but also fruits and vegetables from other parts of the island, and from as far away as Macedonia. The market is also well supplied with wild greens, including ascolibri, a kind of thistle whose roots and tips are highly prized, and bitter stamnagathi, not too different from our arugula, which is eaten both raw and cooked. At the next stand, we see the plump yellow quinces called kidonia, foot-long runner beans, pumpkin for filling savory pies, tiny olives, zucchini flowers picked early in the morning, which Cretans like to stuff, Greek celery, thinner and more pungent than American celery, grapes and vine leaves for stuffing, summer greens such as vlita, amaranth, and styphnos, sea salt, pots of small-leafed basil, and the most popular dried herbs, oregano, sage, and dictamo, gathered wild from the mountains. Sage and dictamo, which grows only on Crete, are used more for teas than in cooking. Snails, only €5 a bag, avocados, and small bananas. In Hania's central market, Bobby shows Steve the catch of the day, which includes Pinocchio fish and lutza, or Mediterranean barracuda. He introduces Steve to Stamatis, whose family has been running one of the market's tavernas for 3 generations, and points out traditional dishes like lamb stomach and egg lemon sauce, and lamb's head roasted on a spit. At the cheese stall, Yanis, the merchant, rattles off names as fast as an auctioneer. Most of his inventory is made by his brothers from sheep's milk. The options range from aged gravieras to fresh mizithra, ricotta-like anthotiro, and fresh malacca for filling pies. At an herb shop behind the market, Bahia shows off the great variety of Cretan herbs, used both in cooking and in teas for their therapeutic value.
This is herb we call dictamo. They have it in the very high mountains and also in the gorges. And the people sometimes they want to climb to pick this. And they use for tea, and they have a lot of
medicinal,
yes, medicinal
purposes. And,
sure,
you know, I said before that it's used for all the health ailments. Sounds like this is the best of all of them.
Yes.
This is the best of all. Yes. We think that
fix everything.
Yes, you're right.
Because this herb tonify all the body, and for this is for everything.
And this only grows in Crete, right?
Only Crete, yes.
Also near the central market is a Hanya institution, Iordanes Bugatsa Parlor. The shop has been a landmark since 1935, and it operates on the principle that if you're doing something right, don't change it. In contrast to the even older Ariston Pie Emporium in Athens, with its repertoire of more than 70 pies, Iordanes serves only one dish, a creamy cheese pie with an indescribably light and crisp pastry. We're lucky enough to see the bugatsa being made at Iordanes' workshop. Iordanes' wife prepares the dough, rolling it finer than an onion skin. Then she fills it with whipped day-old mizithra, a goat's milk cheese which is a specialty of the area. The incredibly elastic dough consists of nothing more than flour, water, and a pinch of salt with oil added in the rolling process. Iordanes is an institution. You can't come here and not have a bugatsa. And how does it taste? Delicious.
This is so creamy. This is so
Crunchy,
crunchy.
creamy, a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Yeah.
With Bobby as a guide, we drive into the hills above Kolumbari, west of Hanya, where his cousin, Andonis Papianakis, gives us a close, almost too close view of his beehives. Andonis only collects honey once a year, in the summer, when the hives yield thyme honey. It's the most prized of all. He averages 10 to 15 kilos per hive, much less than the 80 to 100 kilos that hives produce in Northern Europe where it rains more. Perhaps this is why Greek thyme honey is so expensive, but the taste is unsurpassed. Honey is widely used in Greece, especially in sweets, but the Cretans also enjoy it with graviera cheese, and some chefs add it to savory meat dishes as well. Early one morning, Bobby takes us to a local bakery to see barley rusks being made. In Crete, people eat these rock-hard rusks called paxamadia as often as they do fresh bread. These rusks, made from a mix of barley and wheat, are considered the tastiest and most healthful. One of the most popular uses of rusks is as a base for chopped tomatoes and fresh white cheese. The rusk soaks up the tomato juice and olive oil, becoming much softer and quite delectable. Paxamadia, an ancient food that has never gone out of style, are now in fashion all over the country. The loaves here are about to enter a wood-fired oven. When done, they'll be cut into thick slices and returned to a warm oven to dry for several hours, until all traces of moisture have vanished. The dry barley rusks will keep for years, literally. For a closer look at Crete's olive oil industry, we stop at Biolea in northwest Crete. George Dimitriadis has been making organic stone-ground olive oil since 1994 on an estate that was acquired by his family in the mid-1800s.
The main variety cultivated here in Crete, it's called Koroneiki. This variety, the main difference is that it's very hardy and drought resistant. It has very small fruits and it has a distinctive taste, which when it couples with the microclimate and the soil conditions, it gives a very distinct olive oil that tastes characteristically as a Cretan product. The island produces about 5% of the world production of olive oil, and close to 90% of that is extra virgin. So it's very important cultivation, and it's very important the island production for the world production. Cretan people, they like their olive oil to be mild because we eat much of it. If it is strong tasting, then you can't taste anything else. It actually takes away from the subtle tastes of vegetables and greens and everything else. So can you imagine, we are per capita eating about 32 kilos of olive oil, and we don't like to have one taste cover everything. So we're looking for an olive oil that it would have a rich, complicated aftertaste, something that'll synthesize the taste that we cook together and not overpower them. Because we were used to eating the olive oil that comes from a millstone. In that process, the skin and the leaves of the olives, they are not tear in very small pieces as is done in electric motor crusher in the industrial processing. So the bitter agents, they're not there to make it very bitter or very high peppery or whatever you may call that. And that's how we like it here. That's the oil we produce. And our point of view, it is trying to produce something that we are accustomed to, something we know, something that we used to eat, and present it out there, not to present something or to produce something that a particular market likes it because it's this or because it's that. We're trying to follow our roots and present our food culture as it is. Biolea is an exclusive estate. We are cultivating our own trees. We are producing an average of, let's say, about 100,000 bottles. And they are distributed worldwide. There are a lot of scientific information about olive oil, and there is a lot of regulations about olive oil, and we get very technical and very scientific when we talk about olive oil. And if you look at an olive oil label, you might think that it's a cough syrup. The message that has to go to the consumer, it is that olive oil, before anything else, it's food. You smell it. If you like it, taste it. If you taste it and you like it, then buy it. 99% you're in the right track, and you will enjoy it. You don't have to change your diet to a Mediterranean or Cretan diet or any other diet. Be smart and find how to integrate the olive oil to whatever diet you have. You'll get the benefit.
To visit another olive oil producer, we travel east from Hania towards the coastal city of Rethymno. In the hills outside Rethymno, we find the Agreco Organic Estate and Restaurant, voted the world's best organic restaurant by Vanity Fair magazine, which praised it as a unique dining experience. Agreco belongs to the Grecotel chain, Greece's largest hotel group. Dimitris Kalaitsidakis, a Grecotel general manager, introduces us to the 10-year-old restaurant. The setting is magnificent. Overlooking the estate's olive groves and vineyards, they welcome the group with typical Cretan hospitality. The restaurant's husband and wife team demonstrates some classic stuffed vegetable dishes. Chef Nikos has gathered the zucchini flowers, eggplant, squash, and grape leaves from the estate's organic gardens. Unlike most chefs who cut off the tops of tomatoes, Nikos trims the bottoms. He scoops out the tomato and zucchini flesh for the stuffing, but very little of the eggplant because they tend to be bitter.
Now we'll start with the zucchinis. Yeah, it's very easy if you know the trick. From the mythology, Zeus, the god of gods and the god of hospitality, supposedly was born in the mountains of Psiloritis, and that's why, I mean, the feeling of hospitality is so strong here compared to any other destinations, I mean, even in Greece. This is uncooked rice, because we are going to put, after we stuff them, we are going to put them in the oven. And from the juice of the grated vegetables, along with the rice, we'll stuff the vegetables, putting them in the oven. We put pepper, salt, and some tomato paste.
So, and it's a short grain rice.
Yeah. We'll put our own organic olive oil. We are used, I mean, being in Crete with so much olive oil production, we put a lot, and because it's a vegetable dish, and especially for the summertime, the quantity helps it, and as a matter of fact, it tastes much better next day, even after you take it out of the fridge. A little bit more oil. We are in Crete.
Kyria, Nikos' wife, shows us how to stuff zucchini flowers, which must be picked early in the morning while they're still open. Zucchini flowers are so popular in Crete that you can buy bouquets of them at the farmer's market. They're delicate and must be filled gently so they don't tear. To make stuffed vine leaves, or dolomidakia, the pan is first lined with a few torn leaves. In times past, cooking skills were judged by the size of the dolomidakia. The rolls had to be small and very thin, with the leaves shiny side out. Today, stuffed vine leaves are nostalgia food for most Greeks.
I mean, all the grandmothers, they had the patience, I mean, to do all this, and we always associate, I mean, this food with memories from grandmothers, and they were very, very happy to do, especially the grandmas, the yayas, for the families. And another reason to do this, it was people from the family or from neighbors, they were helping that, and they were doing this in a mechanical way, and they were chatting, I mean, gossiping what was going on in the village and all that. So you see how it was being built up. Please, try one.
So these just came off the stove, and the lemon juice on there, and
very hot.
Very hot.
How moist?
It's heaven.
It is.
It's heaven.
It is.
It is very moist.
It's not easy to make, but this is the best of it.
It's time. No, it's very good. It's excellent.
Bobby invites us for Sunday lunch at his restaurant, Niktarida, the Bat, which overlooks Suda Bay. It was founded in 1933 by his father, a legendary figure who taught Anthony Quinn how to dance the sirtaki for his role as Zorba the Greek. You can't have a Cretan feast without a pie or two, so Bobby has arranged for Diamando, one of his cooks from a nearby village, to make some for us on the veranda. You could write a book on the traditional pies of Greece, and one of the largest chapters would be the one on Crete. Here pies come in all shapes and sizes with all types of fillings. They can be square and no bigger than a ravioli, crescent, open-faced tarts, coils, packets, or party-sized creations that can fill a roasting pan. The smaller ones are often fried and not baked, and of course they provide a convenient package for all those Cretan cheeses and greens. Diamando has already prepared the dough with flour, oil, water, milk, and a little salt, and then set it aside to rest. Note how she rolls out the pastry. Like Stamatia and Ella, who we observed on Kea, she stretches the dough very thin with her broomstick of a rolling pin in an even smaller workspace. She trims the filo, which is the same for both pies, and then mixes the first filling. Chopped spinach, 3 kinds of soft fresh cheese, mazithra, anthotiro, and malacca, a little salt, spring onions, parsley, mint, dill, and wild fennel. She kneads these ingredients with her hands, then puts a spoonful in the center of a square of pastry and folds the sides over diagonally to form a packet. She'll paint the pies with egg yolk, sprinkle them with sesame seeds, and then put them into bake. But they can also be fried without the egg glaze and without the seeds. Simplicity. Especially in Crete, we let fresh ingredients speak for themselves. Local products. Simplicity is a key word. Recognize what you're eating. The secrets of a healthful Mediterranean diet.
Yes. Okay. Ay. Okay, stop. Stop, and yes. And this is okay.
The flavor of that lamb.
It's okay. And this is to finish. It's okay, and I think I finished with my screen now. Yes, it's this one. You see, everybody want to eat the Greek salad, but if you want to know more, it's better to go to Crete to yes, with the Ramadan it's not easier, and it's okay. This is the tour if you want, and here I have this. If you are still lacking of inspiration, I don't think, because there is a lot of things to see here. Okay, I stop to share here. Okay, what do you think? I don't see, I don't listen.
We have to go there.
You see, there is a lot of things to do, because
and you'll be our guide.
I am going to keep this one because the map, because I think here is to see all the things that you can do in Greece. You imagine? We can spend 1 month here. Yes.
What did you prefer?
But if you want to go to the touristic place, and thank you, Maria. See you soon. But for the moment, I know the Cyclada. This is the Basilica to see. It's a thing that everybody knows. The Cyclades, Santorini, and all. Athena. But Athens is only the Acropolis, because after the city is like all the big city. It's a little dirty, because the Acropolis is at the top and after the city is down. But it's good to go walking until the Acropolis. And after the Peloponnese is a new destination. Not a lot of people go. For this, it's good. Even if in the video we see a little touristic, but it's all Greek like that. You want to share the link? Okay. I am going to send the. Okay, Cynthia, I will put.
Yeah, it's tough with Indonesians. You can't actually upload the files there, right? So either you have to take the screenshot of those and upload them there, or just have people's email and then you can actually email it to them. So.
I say. Okay. Someone send me a private? No, it's not for you. Wait here. Okay. I don't know how to work this. Okay. Hey, Cynthia. And yes, you want to share something, Cynthia? No, open the micro. Alice. No, we don't listen.
No.
It's closed. Open.
Yes.
No. It's closed. When you open, it's closed.
Now it's closed, it's open.
Yes, it's working.
Now it works.
Yes, now it's
sorry, because of these things. Yeah. Okay. No, I was thinking about to share your links to some of my friends because they are really Greece fans. And I don't know, I was traveling around from October, November until last 2 weeks. So I was traveling around Southern Africa and some part of Latin America. So if you want, I can also do something that you do now, because if someone is interested to know something about South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, where I were, or Brazil or Argentina, you can do something similar.
Yes.
Not, I've never been in Greece, so I'm interested to see this because but I've never been in Greece. But if someone has interest, so to see the other things, I also can share my experience.
Yes.